Good morning, everyone. For today's agenda, as you all know, we are going to have presentations from the assignment that you all received on Tuesday. Before we begin to the presentations from each group, let's pray according to each other beliefs. Prayers begin. Now we are going to read terms and conditions for this internship program for Nurul Fitria. Time and place is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Dinar. So you guys, can you see my share screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So here I will read the terms and condition about this internship program. So for the first, I'm sorry. Okay. So for all of you, the participant ID in this internship must use real name with the format of your name. So for the biology ITS, you use the format for the A format biology ITS underscore Clara, and from Tarlac University you use the format TAU underscore Clara. And number two, the participants must dress properly and pay attention to each session of this internship because this is the formal agenda. So you need to dress properly and please pay full attention to this internship. And the third is the participant must use a laptop or PC in this internship. But if you have any problem about this, please let us know. You can direct message to us assistant Nurul Fitria or Rita. And the fourth, participants must open the camera during the internship and use the virtual background. And if you have problem with this, please confirm to the committee. And the fifth, participants are encouraged to mute the microphone during the session, except when asked by the lecturer. And the sixth participant must fill out the attendance link. Don't forget to fill out this link. And the last is participants are encouraged to active in the class, both from ITS or TAU. And for the first group discussion, there will be term and condition 2. The first is there will be a 4-session presentation, and each session there will be 2 groups that will be present. Then we continue to discussion. Each group will present the material in maximum is 20 minutes, and then we continue to the question and answer session for minutes, and the question and answer session is directly for 2 groups, and audience are encouraged to active in the discussion session. And for the rundown, the first session, the group that will be present is group 1 and 8 and continue to the question and answer. And the second session, there will be group 2 and group 7. And we will have a break session. It's about 1 hour. And then we continue to the third session. There will be group 3 and 4 that will be present. And the last is group 5 and 6. And this is the term and condition. If you have any question, please let us know. Thank you, Mbak Dina.
Okay, thank you, Nurul. So it's clear for the terms and conditions. Please prepare yourself because we are going to start the first presentations. We are going to have 2 first group to represent their assignment, and then we will have a Q&A session. For the first presentation, please group 1 to start your presentation.
Hello, Miss. I'm sorry. I'm Gelo Feriana SLC from Group 1. I still unable to share screen.
Wait, okay.
It's done. GG, please check again.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello everyone. I just want to make sure again, am I audible and is my share screen already showing in your screen?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I will begin the presentation right now. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you to our presentation as the first group. We are pleased to welcome you as the first group that will present our presentation today. And there has been a little revision about our presentation. And under the theme of enzymatic modification of biomass, we have the title for our presentation today is lipase versus seashells as catalyst and esterification of palm kernel oil and Camelina sativa oil. And before we begin our presentation, I would like to introduce our group. My name is Giolo Ferenesasi from Biology ITS, and I would call all of my partners in group 1 from Aaron, Fajri, and Jimmy. You may open your camera right now and say hello to all the participants today.
Hello, good morning everyone.
Hello, everyone.
So where's Farah?
So there are 4 of us in this team: Aaron Rex from Tarlac Agricultural University, and Jimmy, and both of me and Fajri Malik are from Biology ITS. So the first one is introduction. I will call to my friend Fajri Malik for this part of this presentation.
All right. Thank you, Gege. Am I audible?
Yes, Fajri, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to say I'm sorry that I can turn on my camera because my laptop right now is lagging, so I use my cell phone. And let me begin my presentation with introduction. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduction of the seashells. The utilization of waste materials as heterogeneous catalysts has been of recent interest in the search for sustainable processes. Waste shells are a calcium-rich resource that can be used to produce calcium oxide, which is an excellent source of heterogeneous-based catalysts. In the manufactures of poultry feed from shells, the main ingredient is shell waste, which contains calcium oxide, 66.7%, SiO2, 7.88%, Fa2O2 with 0.03%, magnesium oxide for 22.28%, and aluminum oxide for 1.25%. Maybe we can go to the next part. The next one is the introduction of Camelina sativa. Camelina sativa oil is a good alternative for the arable oils because it grows quickly in areas that are not used for farming. It contains approximately 40% oil content, which is high in omega-3 fatty acids. It has tolerance of cold weather.
I'm sorry, probably Fajri has been reconnect. I will
I'm
continue his
sorry,
part of
Gigi.
presentation. Fajri, are you okay?
Yes, yes, I'm okay. Okay.
Okay, we continue.
40% oil content, which is high in omega-3 fatty acid. It has tolerance of cold weather, drought, low fertility soils, lower water, pesticide, and, and fertilizer requirements than other traditional oils crops, and it many serve as a rotational crop in the northern hemisphere. Maybe we can go to the next part. The next one is palm kernel oil. Palm kernel oil is widely used as non-edible purposes, such as materials for soaps and cosmetics formulation. So the availability of raw material from palm kernel oil is high, differs from palm oil that is used for edible purposes. Maybe you can go to the next part. The second part is character of the biomass. As shown on the screen, the Camelina sativa oil has oil for 30 to 49% and protein for 24 to 31%. They contain um, omega-3 acids and omega-6 acids, tocopherols, polystyrol, and phenolic compounds, among others. Maybe you can go to the next part. And then in the palm kernel oil, it's one of the most used of the lauric acid groups of oils. This characteristic of this group is their high content of, I'm sorry, palm kernel is one of the most used of the lauric acid group of oils. The characteristic of this group is their high content of saturated acids, lauric and myristic. And it is from this feature that their principal uses are derived due to their triglyceride composition. Both oils have steep melting curves and melt below body temperatures. Their low degree of unsaturation given them high oxidative stability. Maybe you can go to the next part, Gege. And this part will be given by my friend. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next part is the pre-treatment prior to the conversion. So not just the biomass, but because we use she shells as comparison to the lipase enzyme, we would also present how the pre-treatment prior conversion to calcium oxide that has been that is contained in the she shells. So in our study case from the journal, the camelina sativa oil was obtained from Ole World Oils Company. It is a worldwide known company based in Manhattan because our main journal is based in Manhattan. And palm kernel oil from another journal is usually used, but if it is a verified one, you don't need any additional steps to as pre-treatment. But if we use the palm kernel waste, it is necessary to refine the oil by segmentation to and filter the dirt from the palm kernel oil waste. And the third one is calcium oxide that we get from seashells, and all the catalysts were kept in a closed vessel to avoid interaction with air and to prevent formation of calcium hydroxide. The next part, I call my friend Jimmy to present the part.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Jimmy Basinshan. Then I'm going to discuss the transformation through physical method. Next. So the physical transformation is for palm kernel. The traditional oil extraction method is to fry palm kernels in old oil or simply heat the dried nuts. The, the fried kernels are then pounded or ground to a paste in moisturized grinder. The paste is mixed with a small quantity of water and heated to release palm kernels oil. The release is pe- periodically skimmed from the top. Today, there are stations in the village that will accept well-dried kernels direct extract of the oil and mechanized motorized expeller. So in Camellia sativa, the oil produced by crushing and pressing the seeds, which contain about 50 to 60% polyunsaturated fatty acid, where the omega-3 fatty acid linolenic makes 35 to 40% omega-60 fatty and linolenic 15 to 20%. So in this physical transformation, we have the first we have to collect the materials, then we use the grinder to extract the oil from the materials. The next, so for the seashell preparation, so first collect the materials with sisal, then then dried it in 100 degrees Celsius in 1 hour. Then the dried sisal, pulverize it in, then the pulverized sisal, calcanize it using a thermoscientific thermoline TM batch top muffle furnace. Then, so that's it.
Thank you, Jimmy. And for the next part is transesterification and enzymatic reaction. As we previously mentioned that we compare two catalysts for transesterification for biodiesel synthesis. We came to this part where this is the general transesterification reaction. As we know, transesterification, or also known as alcoholysis, is a chemical reaction of an oil or fat with an alcohol where it is catalyzed by an acid or base catalyst to form esters and glycerol. And from this part of the catalyst, we take example from seashells, and seashells contains calcium oxide, which is a heterogeneous basic catalyst. And for the calcium oxide as catalyst, in the previous research on camelina sativa oil indicated that lower reaction yields by utilizing heterogeneous catalysts such as BAO and SRO. But because of their toxicity and harmful properties, those catalysts have limitation in usage. So even though they are having higher efficiency, we still prefer to discuss about calcium oxide as catalyst in this presentation. And in the study case, the reaction time of 2 hours at 65 centigrade was found to yield the optimum biodiesel as a product. And the catalyst generated from the waste seashells opens the door for renewable green catalysts, and at the same time recycles the seashells waste generated. Because in this same study case, the researchers used the same calcium oxide for 10 times in 10 cycles. And you can see in your screen in figure 6, the reusability of waste seashells from 10 times or 10 cycles has no apparent loss in activity. So it has no significant loss in usage. So we can use it repeatedly and still effectively used as a catalyst. And the next is we would like to compare the enzyme lipase for the sake of our theme today, that is enzymatic modification. And lipase is widely used for biodiesel production because this enzyme convert oil to biodiesel in the form of fatty acid alkyl ester and glycerol as its byproducts. This enzyme usually extracted from several sources. We can see it from the next slide. And the main idea of lipase, this enzyme as catalyst is it has two different conformation in active closed form and active open form. These forms are differentiated by the position of the polypeptide chain called lid, which will either block or expose the lipase active site. Strategies that can be applied to immobilize lipase, this enzyme with open form include absorption and hydrophobic support and cross-linking or lipophilization in the presence of detergents. For this type of enzyme, immobilize is much more preferred than the pre-lipase because it is promotes easy recovery and enable reuse of the enzyme. And it also increase enzyme stability. So you can see here we can get we have a lot of different source for this enzyme from fungi, bacteria, and yeast. So it is highly available for us, but there are some as far as I know, there is some limitation or regulation where we can get this enzyme as catalyst in biodiesel production. And it is different from standard. In Indonesia, we have SNI, yeah, Standard National Indonesia, but European and American has differ their standard. So it is widely varied. And for the enzymatic post-treatment, because of the adsorption of glycerol and formation of layer containing heterogeneous mixture of oil and biodiesel on the enzyme surface, it create a block. The reaction could block the enzyme activity. To solve this, post-treatment such as enzyme washing after each reaction cycle is needed to maintain the yield amount and enzyme activity. And the most common solvent to use for enzyme washing is hexanes because the heterogeneous layer formed in nonpolar hexane is believed to be effective in washing away the layer. So these are the general comparison between enzymatic and heterogeneous catalysts. Because calcium oxide is base catalyst, you can see the advantage and the disadvantage of the use of calcium oxide that found in seashells. You can see that the main advantage is easy separation of catalyst from product because it is heterogeneous, not like the mainly use is homogeneous. And meanwhile, the enzyme is the advantage of the enzyme usage is the simple product purification step is required. For the products, Aaron or Jimmy, I'm sorry, for the product is Jimmy.
Yes. So for the product, so can you show? Next, or so for the product, the benefit of using biodiesel from the plants is that its combustion will not increase the net atmospheric level of carbon dioxide. To avoid food varies fuel controversy that is caused by using edible plant oil, the appropriate alternative would be use non-edible plant oil. Non-edible plants are pest and disease resistance and able to grow arid plant higher rainfalls or non-agricultural areas. In addition, biodiesel production from non-edible oils create jobs in rural praise and produce useful byproducts, seed cakes, that can be used as a fertilizer. Even thought that plant oils is good source of fuel due to its high ketane number of over 40, it cannot be used for a long-term engine performance. This is because they would cause build-up of carbon deposit and sticking of piston rings. A solution proposed is blending diesel with non-edible oil which does not involve any chemical process and able to reduce viscosity, gas and smoke emission as well as the improved engine performance other than blending the oil diesel. Another solution is converting plant oils into alkali esters that has lower and viscosity and improved heating value. So next,
Hello everyone. I'm Aaron to present the end goal. Conclusion and end goal. Create biodiesel from various catalysts and compare it so we can mass produce biodiesel as a renewable source of fuel. Solve using seashells as heterogeneous catalyst. It can be used 10 times and showing no apparent loss of activity. Plus, it is available abundantly, especially in Indonesia and Philippines coastal areas. Therefore, cost-wise, it is beneficial to use in biodiesel synthesis. Less logistic cost can be used up 10 times and eco-friendly as it solves seashells waste problems. And
Thank you,
that's it.
everyone. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Fajri. And that conclude our presentation today from Group 1. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for Group 1 for the first presentations. Now we are going to have Group 5. Please, Group 5, to start your presentation.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but Dinar, there will be group 8 for the next person.
Okay, sorry, Group 8. Please, Group 8, to start your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your opportunity.
Group 8, are you ready to start the presentation?
Okay, we are ready. Okay, may I check my audio is audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to see you all. Okay, before we start our presentation today, let me introduce myself and my partner. I'm Akil, and my partner is Sembrati Firdaus from Biology TS and Benny Chen from Tarlac Agricultural University. Okay. Um, okay, everyone. In this presentation, we will discuss about potential use from industrial cocoa waste in biofuel production. So let's begin. And to the next presentation, will be explained by my partner. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Akil. So I will begin my presentations. My name is Sunati from Biology ITS. Here I want to present about the biomass that contains in cocoa waste. Cocoa waste contain lignocellulose, which can be used for the productions of biofuels. On the other hand, it may contain hemicellulose and also cellulose. And next. And here the picture of cellulose and also hemicellulose. Cellulose is a linear and crystalline structure formed by microfibers that are linked by hydrogen bonds. And this formation is due to the long chains of glucose that approximately 10,000 units linked together by beta 1.4 glycosidic bonds. And on the other hand, under the cellulose is the picture of hemicellulose. That is a group of branched polysaccharides that connect cellulose with lignin. And hemicellulose is made up hexoses and pentoses along with other compounds in smaller quantities. Next. And here we can see the structures of the lignin, that is a cross-linked aromatic phenolic polymer made up of phenylpropane units responsible for the structural rigidity in the other fibers in plants. And this polymer is bound in different proportions depending on its origins, which can be between 10 until 35%. And thus all three materials rule as the compositions to form biofuels. Next. Here, there is biomass transformations of the cocoa waste, that one of the products that produce in the transformations of biomass in the cocoa waste is biofuel, that is defined as a solid, liquid, or gaseous fuel mainly generated from biomass. This can be classified into first, second, and third generations of biofuels. Next. And these are some transformations from the biomass to the product through some methods that are used here. The first is biochar. Biochar is produced with the transformations of biomass by thermochemical treatments. The use of CPH or cocoa pod husks in the generations of biochar uses temperatures between 400 and 800 degrees Celsius. Next. And here the bioethanol that is obtained from the fermentations of sugars by the actions of yeast. In general, starch-rich raw materials are used. The use of lignocellulosic material is possible through a pretreatment that hydrolyzes cellulose into glucose to generate fermentations. Cocoa residues are a good source for the productions of bioethanol because the different byproducts contain various chemical compounds. Next. And here the biogas, that is a renewable fuel that is produced from the anaerobic digestions of organic materials such as waste and residues from agriculture and the food industry. During this metabolic pathway, organic carbon is converted through oxidation reduction reactions. Next. And then here the biohydrogen, that is a sustainable fuel produced in its chemical form by microbes through fermentations. However, this product can be obtained from different biomass and with various thermochemical process. Biohydrogen is considered as the most ecological fuel, and it has waste from its processing is water vapor, that is calorific value as about 142 mg per kilograms. Next. And the next is bio-oil, that is a mixture of organic compounds obtained from the pyrolysis of biomass. Among these compounds are sugar monomers and oligomers, as well as sugar derivatives such as carboxylic acids, aldehydes, ketones, esters, and alcohols. Next. And the last is liquid smoke, that is a liquid product that is generated from the decomposition process of organic waste or from the condensations of smoke generated in the burning of biomass. This liquid can be extracted from biomass by rapid pyrolysis, and this process is carried out at a medium temperature and with high biomass flows. Next. Maybe the next will be presented by my partner.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So here we can see that the changes during processing of cocoa, fermenting and curing, the drying and the roasting. Next, please. So in fermentation and curing, the process has to be carried out within 24 to 48 hours. After breaking the cocoa pod, it takes about 5 to 7 days on average and varies according to the species. For the Forastero, 5 to 7 days, and Creole is 1 to 3 days. It is responsible for the chocolate flavor and aroma in cocoa and also the external browning beans. And cocoa beans do not themselves undergo a fermentation at all. It is pulp surrounding the beans which is fermented. Next. Next is drying. So drying, if the beans are dried too quickly, some of the chemical reactions started in the fermentation process are not allowed to complete their work and the beans are acidic with a bitter flavor. If the drying is too slow, molds and off flavors can develop. The temperature should not exceed 65 degrees Celsius. And there are types of dryer, which is sun drying and mechanical drying. Next, please. Last, roasting. Dried beans are artfully roasted at 200 degrees Fahrenheit to 250 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 to 2 hours in order to develop the flavor of the beans. The beans become brown in color and friable or brittle. Next. Next is for the product. So the three remaining fractions after the extraction of the cocoa seeds are cocoa pod husk, mucilage or pulp, and cocoa shell, which are easily distinguished structurally and chemically. So the first is the large byproduct created during the processing of cocoa is the cocoa pod husk or the CPH, which comprises 75% of the total weight and is the fruit's outer layer. An estimated 10 tons of waste are produced for every ton of cocoa beans. These waste, which are typically thought to be of no commercial use, are produced after harvest during the pulping of fruit and the recovery of the grains covered in the mucilaginous coating. Next slide, please. Next is Cocoa mucilage or CM is the whitish substance, as you can see in the picture, that covers the grain, the cocoa pulp juice, a portion of CM that has a cloudy whitish color that is produced by handling and applying pressure to cocoa. It's used to make a variety of goods, including alcohol, vinegar, soft drinks, citric acid, and cocoa, cocoa jelly. And last, the cocoa bean shell or CBS makes up to 10 to 17% of the total weight of cocoa beans, though the fermentation process may cause variation, and the importance of this waste lies in the migration of valuable compounds from the grain to the husk during fermentation.
Okay, and then pre-treatment. So in this part, I will explain about the PMS pre-treatment in essential for breaking down the lignin structure, removing hemicellulose, reducing the crystallinity of cellulose, and increasing the surface area availability for enzymes and microorganisms to act. And then treatment in processing cocoa waste is using acid and alkaline treatment. That in alkaline pretreatment, it functions to break down the lignin structure by the swelling the cell wall and reducing crystallinity. That increasing the surface area of cellulose during alkaline pretreatment, it reduces the sealant content in the lignin cellulosic material, which leads to a greater rate of biomass degradation. The proof of alkaline treatment form can be seen in this diagram. This pretreatment appears to be more efficient at removing lignin in both types of biomass. The fact of the high cellulose content confirms this. In addition, the degree of the delignification may be responsible for the lower yields observed from the test sample on cocoa shells, since they had a higher lignin content and alkaline pretreatment was shown to be successful in removing lignin. A large mass was lost in the pretreatment of this type of cocoa. In acid pretreatment and autohydrolysis in one of the most suitable pretreatment for cocoa waste, but appears to produce little degradation in terms of biomass structure. Why this it happen? Because acid pretreatment and autohydrolysis cannot degrade the high lignin content of cocoa waste, as in cocoa shell. Even so, the purpose of acid and base pretreatment, but there are still disadvantages of biomass as a fuel can be minimized by torrefaction technology. Yield, mass, and increase factor are two parameters can be used to evaluate the torrefaction process. Some of the important changes in biomass properties after torrefaced are the decrease in water content and water absorption ability. So, and the last end goals. These goals restore this waste and turning it into a new product is an alternative which benefit the integral use of food. This can generate a stable economy around the use of waste. And To reduce material consumption, fossil fuel, and provide a sustainable fuel source which has the least ecological impact. In this context, cocoa industrial waste has the potential to be a source of biomass in production of biofuels. Due to the chemical composition, and the amount of waste products annually worldwide. Okay, maybe, but our presentation. Thank you for your listening. May all this we have said be beneficial for all of us. And then anyone a question about it?
Okay. Thank you for Group 8. Now we are going to have Q&A session to the audience. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. If there's no one asked, I will call your name randomly to ask about the material for Group 1 and Group 8. Okay, Fauzi, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'm Alfonso Jackson from Biology IDS, and I'm sorry for turn off my camera because I have a bad signal in my laboratory. I will ask a question in each group with the same question. I see that you all give the enzyme modification, enzyme technology, and many others, and it products. I don't get that. It products for people, for general people, and for industrial like that. So I will ask that what the type of immobilization or some stabilizer that you that you may or that you combine with your enzyme to produce that products. Thank you.
Okay, Alfauzi, you asked for Group 1 and 8 with the same questions, right?
Right.
Okay. Who want to answer first? From Group 1 or Group 8?
Yes, I will answer. Excuse me? Am I audible?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, thank you, Mbak Natania. Thank you, Alfauzi, for your question. I'm probably going to start with our study case, and I am apologizing beforehand because I just realized that in our presentation we do not add our reference, but hopefully we can add it if later on. But in our study case, in the journal that we use, the immobilizer that used for our enzyme is lipozyme, and esterase. That I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I'm sorry, but that is the two main immobilizer that that has been mentioned in the journal that we use from Group 1.
Okay. For other group, for the Group 8? You can answer. Okay, from the committee, we will have an active point for everyone who asks, so please be active, guys. Okay, are you ready, Group 8, to answer questions from Alfauzi? Oh yeah, thank you, JJ, for the answer. Group 8. Are you ready? If not, I'm going to call randomly from your groups. Benny, can you answer the questions from Alfauzi?
I'm sorry, Mom. I don't have the idea as of now.
Okay, how about your other friends in your group? Zumrati Firdaus, can you answer the questions? Alfauzi, for group 8, haven't answered the questions. How about we continue the other questions and wait for them to reply in the last sessions, or
Yeah, I'm okay if they can answer my question, or maybe we can answer by in Zoom chat or something like that. And it's okay if you want to continue in the next question. Thank you.
okay, thank you, Alfauzi. Okay, the next questions. Please raise your hands, guys, if you guys want to ask. If there's no one ask, I will call you randomly to ask the questions for group 1 and group 8. Okay, I'll ask randomly. I call you randomly. Okay, from Tarlac, Jason, are you here? Jason? Jason John O. Santos?
Ma'am?
Yeah, please ask questions about the material from Group 1 and Group 8. Please, thank you.
Nothing, ma'am.
Okay, we are going to go for another group. Now we are going to have group 2, please, for group 2 to start your presentation.
Okay, wait a minute, Mom.
Hello, good morning. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Uh, Ma'am, it is okay to use my because my internet connection is weak. That's why I'm using this one. It's, if it's okay, ma'am.
Yeah, it's okay.
I thank you, ma'am. So, good morning, everyone. We are the group 2. We are here to present our group assignment entitled, Linda, can you please show the presentation, please? So we are the group 2. We are here to present the our assignment entitled Potential of Banana Peel, Ways of Bioethanol. We are the group 2. So please let me introduce my members. So I'm Ella Fernandez. The next one is the Erickson Studio. And then the Wahaysaka Galasha Setya. Please turn on your camera. And then Dinda Due Safuente. So next. So we have the table of contents, character of biomass, biomass of transformation through physical method, treatment of biomass prior conversion, enzymatic modification, product, and the end goals. So, Waisaka, the floor is yours. So,
Okay, thank you, Miss Emma. Before I'm so sorry I can't turn on my camera now because my device are lagging and I'm using my phone now. So let me start my presentation. So before we discussing about the button appeal, let me tell you guys about the introduction. We will start with simple question. What's wrong with the common or fossil fuel? So, as we know, fossil fuels are the major source of energy worldwide. The use of fossil fuel is associated with global warming, climate change, and a variety of energy and security problems. Moreover, uh, fossil fuel is not evenly distributed within a nation, and equally, the fossil fuels, as we know, are non-renewable. So, how we deal with it? We can use bioethanol. The bioethanol itself is an alternative either as an octane enhancer or we can use it for main fuel. Intend to reduce the problems associated with fossil fuels. It involves two methods, namely acid hydrolysis and enzymatic hydrolysis to produce bioethanol. But but hold on, the problem isn't over yet. Why? Because there are limitations to the production of bioethanol from lignocellulosic materials. These limitations range from the choice of pretreatment, like I'm talking before, it consists of hydrolysis and fermentation technologies, to the economic and commercial scale application of the resource. But the scientists had another alternative for this problem, the banana peel. Scientists selected banana waste due to its availability and accessibility. The sugar content obtained from banana peels was estimated using the Benedict solution, and the result indicated that banana peels are an excellent source of bioethanol. Maybe you can continue to the next discussion about the first one. Maybe the Dutch can, yeah, can next. We can go to the next slide. Thank you.
So, banana, one of the earliest cultivated fruit, bananas are valued worldwide for their flavor and high nutritional value. They are especially important as a staple food in the tropics. There, where they are growth, bananas belong to the genus Mosa of the scientific family Muscaceae. So, please, next. So the physical characteristics does not have a woody trunk like a tree. The stalk, sometimes called the false trunk, grows from the underground stem called rhizome, reaches of a height of a 10 to more than 20 feet or the 3 to 6 meters. So some people thought that banana is a big tree, but it's not. For the record, banana is actually is a giant herb where it does not have a woody trunk like a tree. So the height of banana is ranging from 3 to 6 meters. So the variety of the banana, several hundred varieties of bananas are grown throughout of the world. Most are yellow when ripe. True there are some red and green skin type. So we have a different kinds of variety of the banana. We have red bananas and latundan bananas, saba banana, then the manzado banana. So next, please.
So hi everyone, I'm Erickson Di Custodio and I will discuss the biomass transformation throughout physical methods. Next please. So banana peels are lignocellulosic agricultural waste that has the potential to produce bioethanol as a renewable form of energy. So treatment and hydrolysis of lignocellulosic biomass are a crucial step in bioethanol production. So our study determined the efficiency of three pretreatment equipments, namely water, alkaline, and acidic pretreatments on the production of bioethanol. So the feasibility of producing bioethanol from banana peel as a source of lignocellulosic biomass. So there are three different pretreatment techniques were employed as the first step in experimental design. So the pretreatment techniques are a water. The next is alkaline and acidic pretreatments is the best method to produce ethanol from banana waste. So next please. So pretreatment of biomass prior conversion. So pretreatments of lignocellulosic biomass prior to hydrolysis is a prerequisite from bioethanol production because it is determined the yield of bioethanol that would be obtained after fermentation. So the aim of pretreatment is to reduce the compactness, strength, and crystalline nature of cellulose, aiding in hydrolyzing the lignocellulosic biomass to simple sugar unit. So first, we cook the fiber at 120 degrees Celsius for 6 hours so that the prior to the discharge of pressure into the atmosphere so that the peel waste or the banana waste peel where the water and air dried at 45 degrees. So we subjected the peel to water pretreatment as a pretreatment process in the closed autoclave. So the banana waste was cooked at 120 degrees Celsius. So using water to a liquid ratio of 1:10. So for example, 1 kilo of water and 10 kilos for the banana waste. So the pressure was released into the atmosphere and the pulp fiber was washed with water and air dried at 45 degrees so that the solid reduce were truthfully waste with tap water and neutral pH and dried at 45 degrees Celsius. So why we put this pretreatment as important tools for cellulose conversion processes so that it is essential to change the structure of cellulosic biomass to make cellulose more available to the enzymes that convert the carbohydrates polymers into fermentable sugar. In hydrolysis, so aims is to further degrade the polysaccharides presents in the pre-treated lignocellulosic biomass of banana waste into monocascarades subunits. So the monosaccharides that will be produced upon hydrolysis will enhance the fermentation process. In fermentation process, we done for 7 days for banana peels, and the ethanol contained was measured every 24 hours. So the optimum pH and temperature for the fermentation of a banana peels was found to be 6 or maybe 30 degrees Celsius. So with the optimized pH and temperature, fermentation was then carried out as a different yeast concentration about 3% to 12%. So that the selection of a good pretreatment techniques determine the success of every bioethanol productions. So it is the imperative to select the best pretreatment techniques. Next.
Okay, let me continue the discussion. So the next topic are enzymatic modification. Okay, about the modification, as we discussed before, enzymes action will take place in banana peel, pretreatment, and hydrolysis by breaking down the chains of sugar release. In this case, lignocellulosic biomass during the hydrolysis process effectively which would lead to a higher yield of fermentable sugars and then continued with fermentation process by microbes such fungi and bacteria. Uh, the figures below are the process in previous discussion about the pretreatment of the banana peel. Maybe you can go to the next slide. Okay, the next are enzyme. What kind of enzymes used for hydrolysis in banana peel? Enzymatic hydrolysis is a substrate specific, which means reacting directly with cellulose and using enzymes such as cellulase, and then there are endo-beta gluconase, exo-beta gluconase, or beta glucosidase. So the cellulase enzyme itself is the most common type of enzyme applied for hydrolysis purposes, and it can be derived from bacteria or fungi. The hydrolysis itself using dilute acid hydrolysing using dilute acid requires a high amount of temperature, which is uneconomical because since a significant amount of energy is required. And moreover, hydrolysis using concentrated acid requires a large volume to achieve an effective hydrolysis. Okay, maybe we can go to the next slide.
Okay, the number 5 is product. Sorry, maybe it is trouble. Hello?
Yeah. What happened?
I'm sorry, my PPT is trouble. Maybe is wait a minute, mom.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. As explained from the start, the product produced from banana peel is bioethanol. The reason for using banana peel is because banana peel has a high cellulose content and low lignin content, so that making suitable for bioethanol production. Bioethanol is ethanol or ethyl alcohol from the fermentation of glucose, which come from biomass as its raw material. Biomass can be found in abundant and sustainable quantities, namely sources that are available continuously, unlike that conventional fossil fuel currently in use where the resources are limited and depleting. Okay, the last material is end goal. The end goal of creating environmentally friendly banana peel biomass product. Now, the first energy resistant. As we know, bioethanol is a source of renewable energy replacing conventional fuel. For example, ethanol fuel vehicle produces lower carbon dioxide emission, making bioethanol an environmentally beneficial energy source. Second is component become cleaner. Bioethanol produce complete combustion compared to engineers. The complete combustion process of bioethanol also does not produce residue, so that vehicle exhaust is cleaner. And is there is a bioethanol engine leak, vehicle users do not need to panic. The scattered bioethanol can be decomposed by the environment because of its raw material. The environment becomes safer because there are no toxic chemicals that damage it. Then reducing carbon emission. The use of bioethanol as a fuel will reduce the level of carbon emission and air pollution. This is because the use of bioethanol has a high octane number and reduce carbon dioxide emission. Reduce carbon dioxide emission can reduce the greenhouse effect. And the last, overcoming some pollution from banana peel was Okay, it will look back to the introduction. Banana peel was were problem just like other organic was. By processing it to produce bioethanol, it's able to reduce the problem of was in our environment. Nah, and this is the literature that we asked in our presentation. Maybe that's enough from us. Thank you for your listening. Thank you for your attention, and thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you, group 2, for the presentations. Now we are going to have group 7. And for the audience, please pay attention to the presentations because we need you to be active in this discussion. And you guys have to make questions for both group 7 and group 2. Please, group 7, you can start your presentations.
Let me share screen our assignment. Are my PPT is edible? Are my PPT is eligible? I'm sorry. Can you hear my voice?
Veronica, can you speak louder? In my place,
Yes.
your voice is not that loud. I barely can hear your voice.
Now you can hear my voice. Hello.
Can you speak louder?
Can you hear my voice?
You can hear my voice, right?
Yes, right.
Okay.
I can hear your voice.
Okay. Maybe your voice have to be a little bigger than now.
Okay. Are my voice clear right now?
Yeah. Okay. You can start the presentation now.
Okay. Thank you.
Veranita, are you there?
Hello everyone. We are from 7 group. We will present our assignment about the enzymatic modification. I'm sorry, I
Veronica?
have a trouble in signal. Right now, are my voice clear?
Yeah, your voice is clear. Are you having some trouble
Yes, I have a trouble for signal.
for the presenting your presentation? If you have any problem, you can let your friends do the slideshow. Your other friends maybe can help.
Yes, give me a second.
Okay.
My friend had a similar problem. There is a signal problem. Can I continue the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me introduce our group member. There is Abiji from TAU and Zamharin from ITS and myself, Veranita from ITS. Nah, we got the outline that we will present is character of biomass, biomass transformation through physical method, pretreatment of biomass, pre-conversion, enzymatic modification, product, and goals. Nah, we go to the first outline, is the character of sugarcane bagasse. The characteristic of sugarcane bagasse physically is colored bagasse is white or a little bit yellow. The, the texture is fibrous. When sugarcane as fruit, it needs a large pitch to grow. The next is character of sugarcane bagasse as such as asemically. On the research conducted Carp et al. 2013, sugarcane waste contains cellulose 44%, hemicellulose 28%, lignin 21%, acids 5%, and extractive 2%. Nah, at extractive and mineral salts of SCB are bonded together physically and chemically with linkage between lignin and cell wall polysaccharide. This is what looks like of sugarcane waste. Actually, one of the reasons we choose this theme is sugarcane that's found in or grow a lot in Indonesia and Philippines. Okay, next slide is the part of ABG.
Hello everyone. SGB biomass transformation. So there are so many products that can be made by the fiber alone. But before that, uh, there is a proper method in physical method to be done before turning it into these products. So physical methods is a bottom-up approach to synthesize nanostructure materials, which involves two basic steps. The first one is the evaporation, and the second one is condensation. So the process is to start, we need to dewax and dry the SGB or the sugarcane SCB, rather SCB sugarcane bagasse, and then we need to ground it using grinder or steam explosion. And then the next step is scoring and bleaching. And then the bleach SCB will be hydrodized using acids to obtain nanoparticles to turn it into to transform it physically into bricks, ceramics, cement additives, concrete, uh, and reinforcement in polymer composites. So there are three types of extraction. Uh, we can use toluene ethanol solution, ultrasonic radiation, and mixing it with sodium hydroxide and hydrogen peroxide. Next. Next, please. Hello.
Veronita?
Yeah, this is the next part.
Okay, thank you, Vera. Maybe I can continue the presentation. So I want to about the SCB pretreatment. This we have three SCB or sugarcane bagasse pretreatment. The first one is the alkaline pretreatment. The second one is acid or alkali acid pretreatment. And the third one is the other pretreatment. Oh, okay, so the first one is okay, maybe next pair. Okay, before we jump into the previous slide, sir. We're so sorry. Okay, this one. So before we jump into the main topic of the pretreatment, in this figure you can see that cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, and a small amount of extractive and mineral salts of SCP or sugarcane bagasse are bound together physically and chemically with linkage between lignin and cell wall polysaccharide. So this is prevents the easy breakdowns of the complex compound into a simple sugars and affect the rate of the lignification reaction and the quality of the final products. So we need a pretreatment methods that are rapid, non-destructive, and simple to isolate lignin from the cell wall of SCB. Maybe we can next to the next slide. Okay, so the first one is the alkaline pretreatment. The use of alkaline solution is one of the pretreatment method which has been experimentally proven to improve enzyme susceptibility of SCB. This pretreatment method modifies the lignin carbohydrate complex in the feedstock by effectively interrupting the ester bond that coexist between lignin and hemicellulose. So there are several researchers that conduct excellent research to optimize SCB alkaline pretreatment using several compounds you can see in the table 1 such as sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfite, sodium carbonate, and sodium acetate. So for the sodium sulfite, sodium carbonate, and sodium acetate also can be used as the source of alkaline environment for the pretreatment of ACB for bioethanol and biomethane production, where the highest biogas and biomethane production were obtained from the SCB pretreated with 0.5 molar of the sodium carbonate at the 140 degrees Celsius. Maybe we can move to the next slide. Okay, the second pretreatment is the acid or alkali acid pretreatment. The another pretreatment technique in the literature. So the first is one. So the another pretreatment technique in the literature is a hybrid of the acid or alkali acid method, which has been reported for the SCB. Compared to the other pretreatment method, acid or alkali acid was found more effective as it is mostly used for biomass pretreatment. So there are three researchers that use or the acid or alkali acid treatment. The first one is Texeria et al. At the 1999 use the NaOH peracetic acid. The second is the Shu at 2006 use 1 molar of natrium oxide and the acidic one for dioxane, and the last one is Zhao from the 2009 using 10% of ANOVA and 10% of peracetic acid. So the alkali acid technique could also be assisted with the microwave energy process for the effective removal of lignin in the SCP. Okay, so the another pretreatment is the steam expulsion, liquid hot water, and the ionic liquid. Worthy to note is that all the aforementioned pretreatment procedures can be combined for optimum glucose recovery from the SCB. The alkaline energy assess process for successful pretreatment of SCB. The steam expulsion was also accompanied by the auto hydrolysis or alkali lignification. The pretreatment with liquid hot water or LHW can also be used in a conjunction with other reactives such as aqueous ammonia. Maybe we can move to the next slide, Vera.
So the next topic is the enzymatic modification. So before fermentation, complex sugar is broken down into simple sugars. The enzymatic actions in biochemical process called enzyme catalyst hydrolysis. this required to make the complex sugar glucose palatable to microbes. The enzymes that breaks cellulose is known as cellulase. So, excuse me. I think the presentation.
Maybe you can share screen. You have the presentation, right? You have the PowerPoint?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. You can.
I think Ari will do the una, please. Ari.
So, are my slide okay or okay?
Yeah.
So, may we continue or I will start from the beginning of this part. So, I will begin again so that we can hear it again. So, enzymatic modification. So, before fermentation, so after treatment or pre-treatment, there is a hydrolysis happening here. So before fermentation, a complex sugar is broken down into simple sugars. The enzymatic actions in a biochemical process called enzyme catalyst hydrolysis. This is required to make the complex sugars glucose palatable in microbes. The enzyme that makes cellulose is known as cellulase. So there are commercial cellulases. The number one is specyme, nobicyme, or and viscozyme. There are also cultured cellulases, cellulomonas, trichoderma, rese, penicillium, gantinellium, and the other one is penicillium echinolatum. Uh, Based on Belmorogan and Motokumar, they investigated the enzymatic hydrolysis of SCB or sugarcane bagasse by cellulase in a technique aided by ultrasound energy. It was demonstrated that increasing the process use of low intensity ultrasonic radiation improved enzyme release and accelerated enzyme C I catalyst processes. As a result, the enzymatic hydrolysis process can be improved by the um, presentation of ultrasonic energy. Next, please.
Okay. Am I audible? Next part, we talk about product of Segarkan Bagas. There is a bioethanol as fuel. Number two is biomethane as sustainable fuel produced by a biogas enhancer that removes carbon dioxide from the biogas, and biohy- bio- biohydrogen as a super antioxidant water containing alkaline hydrogen, and biobutanol as a fuel that is not hygroscopic, doesn't cause a corrosion, has a high calorific value, and has low volatility. We move in the next part that explain my partner Ari.
Okay, so I want to explain about this slide about the end goals of turning SCB into a several product. So the end goal is as an alternative energy, as a substitute for the fossil fuels, reduce the pollution due to the manufacture of the fossil fuels, and maintain environmental and economic sustainability. So the various applications of SCB have been extensively examined in the light of the need for the energy and environmental sustainability. The SCB can be regarded as a sustainable feedstock for biofuels production as it was successfully used to produce bioethanol, biomethane, biohydrogen, and biobutanol. The bioproducts such as xylitol, organic acid, oligosaccharide and enzyme that were produced from the SCB justify its economic importance. The diversity of the SCB application was even more amazing as the material has also found application as adsorbent, ion exchange resin, briquette, ceramics, concrete, cements, and the polymer composites. It can be summarized that SCB is biomass with a great potential to supplement global energy demand and foster environmental and economic sustainability. Okay, this is our reference to make this assignment. So thank you guys for listening to our presentation. We'll give it back to Miss Tina. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Group 7. Now we are going to have Q&A session for Group 2 and Group 7. Okay, we have Nathanael and Aulia. Okay, we have a lot. Okay, Nathanael first, please.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I want to ask to Group 2 and Group 7. Maybe you can explain how many or how much or how many ingredients that you use to produce your product. Maybe from a banana or maybe or some from sugarcane. How many you use to product to you use, and how many bioethanol you produce? You get it, Miss? Yes, it.
Okay, Nathan, you asked to group number 7, right?
To Group 2 and Group 7.
Okay. Okay, for both group, please answer a question from Nathanael Hari.
Excuse me, Mom.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Dinda Dwi Fitri. I want to answer question from Nathanael. So, based on the literature that we asked for the manufacture of bioethanol, the banana peel record is 40 gram. The amount of bioethanol produced depends on the pH fermentation value of the treatment. In this literature, for pH 4 as much as 147 milligram per milli, for pH 6 as much as 157 milligram per milli, and pH 8 as much as 137 milligram per milli. Thank you, Mom.
Okay, for Nathanael, is that clear from Dinda?
Yes, clear. Maybe from Group 7.
Okay, Group 7, please answer the question from Nathanael Hari.
Give me a sec to answer. Give me a second, please, to answer.
Okay, Veronica, you can answer the questions. Veronica, are you going to answer?
Yes, Miss, give me a second. Yes, I will answer the question of Nathaniel. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, I studied the production of bioethanol from SGP hydrolyase using a PCA seed space and obtained yield in the range of 2 until 3 gram tau and ITA, and study the producing of bioethanol using Saccharomyces cerevisiae and obtained a yield of 2 until 3 gram of SGB at uh, 30, 30 Celsius and 48-hour incubation time and pH of 40, 48 and 30 and 30 Celsius hour. Nathaniel, are you get it?
Can you reply how many ethanol bioethanol you get?
Are we done for Nathaniel Hari questions?
Okay, maybe it's enough. Maybe we can next to
Yes.
other question.
Thank you, Nathaniel, for the questions, and thank you for group 2 and 7 for the answer. Okay, next we are going to have Aulia.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I want to ask to group 7 that you mentioned earlier that compared to the other pre-treatment methods, the hybrid of the acid or alkali acid method was found to be more effective as it mostly used for biomass treatment. My question is, what makes it more effective than non-hybrid pre-treatment? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Aulia Yasmin. Group 7, please answer.
Okay, we will answer the question of Jasmine. Give me a second, Miss.
Wait a minute. Can someone else answer? Because you already answer from Nathaniel Hari. Because we want to make sure that all of you guys answer the question. Can we have another member who answer it? Maybe Afige or Zamharir?
Yes, ma'am. Maybe I will answer the yes, ma'am of question. So why the hybrid is more effective than the non-hybrid? So the hybrid is consists of two types of pretreatment, the alkaline and the acidic. So the alkaline pretreatment is found more effective in lignin removal, whereas the acid pretreatment was indicated to be more efficient in the hemicellulose. So from this, we can conclude that if we combine the alkaline and the acid pretreatment, we can make the process of pretreatment maybe more effective like that.
Okay, are we clear, Alia?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you for the answer.
Thank you. Okay, next question from Tarlac, Rico.
Hello, ma'am. May I ask if I am audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, one of your sorry, this question belongs to group two. So, one of your members said earlier that there's a lot of variety of banana. So, my question would be, is there any specific variety of banana that will use on your proposed biomass product? If yes, what is the best suitable variety of banana to produce bioethanol? Thank you.
Okay, you're asking for group number?
Group 2, ma'am.
Okay, group 2. Please answer Rico questions. Thank you.
Okay, I
Well,
Wait up.
I'm sorry.
Kind of
Um,
echoing. Are you okay?
yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Before it, can please recall retell your question once again, please. I'm so sorry.
okay. So here's my question. Is there any specific variety of banana that will use on your post biomass product? If yes, what is the best suitable variety of banana to produce bioethanol?
Okay, thank you, Rico, for the question. I'm sorry, Ma'am Dinar, can we asking for 1 minute for our group to discuss the answer, please?
Don't take too much time, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, maybe while we're waiting for group 2 to answer the Rico's questions, maybe Stephanie, you can ask your question.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Stephanie from Biology ITS. I have some questions for group 2. Is there any specific species of bananas as a raw material used in banana peel to produce bioethanol, or we can use any kind of banana peel? Is clear enough? For group
Yes,
2?
definitely.
Okay,
It's
thank
clear enough.
you.
Okay, another question for group 2. Maybe, as I said before, The person who's going to answer the questions going to be a different person, okay? Because we want to make sure that you guys are all active in this discussion. Okay, maybe Oisaka, are you going to have another discuss, or you are going to answer from Rico and Stephanie questions?
Okay, Ma'am Dinar. I think we can answer now.
Okay.
So the question is about from Rico and Stephanie. I think it's kind of similar question, which Rico and Stephanie are asking about. Is there any how we can use any variety or species of bananas for processing it into the bioethanol? I think that's the point of the question. So let me answer it. In the literature that we cited and from the other papers and information we have been looking, the author mentioned some species of the bananas like in Indonesia we call it uh, kepok banana or raja banana. So we can say that any species could be processed into produced to bioethanol. But of course, there are some difference on how we treated each species based on their appearance and maybe from their each characteristic of the peel in the bananas. Um, Maybe from my friends or in group two can add the answer. Anyone else?
Anyone else? Erickson, Ella, or Dinda?
Um, Based on my research, all types of banana peels can be extracted with specific ethanol. Yeah.
Okay, maybe another answer from Dinda, or that's it?
Maybe it's enough, Mom.
Okay, moving on to Muhammad Habib, please, your question.
Thank you, Miss Dinar. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, my question is for group 2. And my question is how to get the cellulose enzyme used for hydrolysis banana peels, and if it's by extracting it or any other process in it. Maybe it's my question. It's clear. Group 2.
Can you repeat the questions, please?
Okay. My question is how to get the cellulose enzymes used for hydrolysis banana peels by extracting or any other process in it. Thank you.
Are we clear about the questions, group 2? Group 2?
So, are you hear me?
Yeah.
So back into the discussion of banana peels, uh, the presence of enzyme called polyphenol oxidase, which is oxygen depend. So these enzymes is short called PPO, or what we call polymerases. Polymerase the naturally occurred polyphenols presence in the banana skin. So that when we see or when we peel the banana in the inner portion, so the inner skin get explode to atmospheric oxygen much more than when it is still covering the fruit. So because the inner skin is thin compared to the other thick layer the membrane damage causes the cell of the inner skin, while peeling liberates the phenolic amines such as dopamines present in the vacuoles of banana cells. So according to enzymatic reaction, need a little warmer conditions. That is why in summer and hot condition, even the outer skin turns brown, black faster compared to the coldest environment. So this results immediately oxidation in the presence of atmospheric oxygen, forming the enzyme banana cells. Thank you.
Okay, is that clear, Habib?
Yes, it's clear, Miss. Thank you so much
Okay.
for group 2.
Okay, thank you for the questions and answer from group 2 and group 7. Okay, now we have a break time for lunch and break time. You guys can leave the Zoom and be back here in an hour, maybe in an hour. Or in Indonesia, time will be at 1 p.m. and in Philippine times will be at 2 p.m. Thank you. We
Thank
may
you.
Zoom meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.